firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
I'm not running over the Barnett Tower and heaving myself off it.
And Leon Searcy.
Now, you come across that middle, you better have some meat on your bone.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
All right, welcome in. It's everybody's Super Bowl. It's XL Primetime, baby. It's XL Primetime on a Thursday. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, RJ Saunders, Joe Cowart is on vacay. We're going to take you for the next 2 hours. We're going to talk a lot of college ball, talk some NFL and some Jags. We're the Super Bowl. Not unlike a certain team from the Big 12, which last year in the Pac-12, I believe lost 9 games. But apparently, and this before we get into this, I want to tell you this, okay? Bro, this is what I was talking about in the last couple days when I brought up the human condition. How you can be an elite player, you can have elite players at different or all positions, but at the end of the day, you become good becomes great when the human condition is harnessed. When it's not harnessed, when you got guys going off the reservation, when you've got guys talking and acting and doing things that shouldn't be done, I guess is the best way to say it. And I'm not talking about lawfully, legally. That's where you get into trouble. And we've seen it at every sport, at every level. And we had another indication of that in Las Vegas, which a perfect example, a perfect fitting example of where this should be, when the Big 12 Media Days happened earlier this week. And we're going to have Dennis Dodd on a little bit later in this hour to not only talk about the Big 12 Media Days, but also about FSU and the Big 10 and other big news in college football. But, Leon, you've got Colorado, new to the Big 12. Shedeur Sanders, who could be the first overall pick in next year's draft, quarterback, Colorado, a uber-talented player. He's asked about Colorado playing in the Big 12 and what it's going to be like playing in the Big 12. And I want you to hear this, okay? And I want everyone out there to hear this. This is what I'm talking about when I say you've got to harness the human condition, because that's the key from good to great. RJ, hit it. RJ doesn't have the sound.
No
yet.
problem.
All right, so I'm going to tell you what he said, okay?
Oh, I heard.
And then we'll get into.
Okay, go ahead.
He said Colorado's everybody's Super Bowl. 3-9 Colorado from last season is everyone's Super Bowl in the Big 12.
Yeah, I heard him. I don't know about him, but listen, every day I come on XL Prime Time, this is my Super Bowl, baby. I bring it every day. This is my Super Bowl every day. I treat it like a Super Bowl.
But with you, it's not hyperbole.
No, it's not, absolutely.
You're also not 3-9 from the previous week's show,
yes,
right?
Sometimes, listen, I don't know why these players listen. Listen, sometimes the inside voice, sometimes you just need to keep some stuff in, all right? It comes out when it shouldn't come out. I mean, listen, Colorado's never been the gold standard, all right? They've never been the gold standard. And if it was Georgia, if it was Alabama, that's dominated college football over the last decade, I will say yes. Their players can say that every time they go against a team, it's their Super Bowl because they're trying to beat the best.
Right.
Colorado hasn't even marginally achieved anything like that.
Since 90, since they shared the national title with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, they're talking about the fact that they're everybody's Super Bowl. How about make a bowl? All right, let's make a bowl first before we talk about everybody's Super Bowl. That doesn't make any sense to me. You got it, RJ? Roll it.
It's been that since day one. I remember first media day when I was in HBCU, I said we won't lose a game. I'm undefeated in the SWAC, so I already know what the expectation comes with. I know we're everybody's Super Bowl, so I'm really just I always stay level-headed, stay grounded, because I would never want to be that guy, look back, and not being able to take advantage of the moment that we have right now.
Okay, so is he saying they're everybody's Super Bowl because of Dion, because of his dad, because his dad puts them out there, because of the way his dad gutted the program last year and brought on, by the end of by the end of his gutting process, and a week before the first game of the season, 82 of their 85 scholarship players were new to the program?
Well,
or is he saying it because he thinks they're a good team?
Well, listen, you ever heard the saying, loose lips sink ships? And loose lips sink chips. And Dion and his son from last year have been just running their mouth. I mean, cocky and arrogant. We call it swag wavy. What they're doing is they just create more bulletin board material. There's a reason why Oregon just ran them out the gym when they played them last time, because they were running their mouth. They put this on themselves. Yeah. They put it on themselves.
Well, Shedeur, to that, was answering the question of the reporter asked, because of the things in which your father has said, your father has done, do you feel that flows over to you, and now you have to perform at a certain level because of what your father has said to the masses about you and the team as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. If it rolls over into the team as a whole, who's not good at all, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Dion could do this when he was at Florida State. You know why? Florida State was pretty damn good when he played, all right? He could do this when he was with the 49ers.
Florida State had dudes everywhere in the field.
That's what I'm telling you, bro. Yeah. They had dudes. When you run your mouth and you got guys that can't back it up, you make you look bad. All right, listen, I could speak on this. I played with a bunch of cocky, arrogant guys in college, but guess what? You couldn't beat us. We ran our mouth. We trash talked you. We taunted you. But guess what? At the end of the day, we were going to win the ball game. But teams like Colorado should be quiet. I ain't never seen more noise from a team that was 4-8 in the history of college football. Have you ever? I mean,
well, first off, Dion, when he played, there were 2 Hall of Famers in that secondary at FSU with him and Roy. Okay?
Leroy Butler, absolutely.
I mean, that was Martin Mayhew was in that secondary too, also a really good player. There was a lot
dudes.
of
dudes.
A lot of good players on that team. Okay, and I think, look, I understand what Dion is doing. I get it. He's got to do something to shake the tree there at Colorado, because for so long they've just been walking through the motions. No matter the coach, it's just 3-9, 4-8 every single year, and it was 4-8 last year. They won 3 to begin the season, and there was a lot of L's in that schedule. Mm-hmm. The only dub was against a truly horrific Arizona State team that had done more complete rebuild than Colorado had done. I understand what he's done, okay, but you've got to at some point. You know what that sounds like to me? Honestly, Shedeur Sanders, and I get what he's saying. If his dad puts him out there like that, that's whistling through the graveyard, man. He knows they're not going to be at that level where they're everybody's Super Bowl. He knows that offensive line, he hopes, I guess, is better than last year's offensive line, which was the worst in college football. What does he think is going to happen by saying that?
I mean, he knows exactly what's going to happen. He's going to make himself a target.
100%.
He's going to make himself a target, all right? I mean, listen, any competitor, you don't care. But you don't care if you're a target. You know, you're going to play. But he doesn't have – you got to have the dudes to back up the
It's him and Travis Hunter and nobody else, man.
Listen, if you're going to talk smack, you got to have the dudes to back you up. I mean, I'm not sure if the team or that O-line is prepared to back up some of the stuff that he's been saying. But what he is doing is he is creating more momentum for his opponents to come after him.
All right, so I want to dovetail into this because I think this is interesting as well, and this will be part of what we'll ask Dennis Dodd when he comes up later in the hour. Is you see what's going on in Colorado? You saw last season. Dion was the big splash hire. Dion made a lot of noise. He's bringing his Gucci or whatever he called it, his Louis. And now, if you're just sitting there taking a realistic 30,000 feet view of Colorado, all right. Instead of the ground zero with all the carnival that's going on, and watch this hand while the other hand does something else. Dion's kind of in a prove it year right now, is he not? I mean, they cannot afford another 4-8. You get another 4-8, and he's now going to become a sideshow. Well, just a carnival barker is always going to be.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't overlook the economic impact that Dion has made in Colorado.
True.
All right,
100%.
The state, the university,
100%.
Attendance.
Yep.
Apparel, all that kind of stuff. I mean,
it's dubs, man.
I agree. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's generated revenue close to $300 million.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's an economical impact that Deion Sanders has made. But at some particular point, I mean, beyond the brand, you gotta deliver as a coach. You know what I'm saying? You got to deliver as a coach, and 4-8 ain't cutting it, bro.
No,
it's not cutting it. And then You were telling me in the production meeting, his recruiting ratings are down. Not down, but kind of the same they were last year.
So last year they had 13 high school recruits. That's who they signed.
Mm-hmm.
They were 81st in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
We were making fun of Florida earlier in the week because they're 67th. They're 81st again, and they have 5 committed recruits, high school recruits. He's clearly going the transfer portal route. He is not going, I'm going to develop from high schools and we're going to do this thing organically. He's clearly not doing that because he can't get the kids there. And I think that's kind of a bit of a stark reality for him, that even though he's this huge personality and he's a Hall of Fame NFL player and he's a Hall of Fame college player and everybody knows Prime, it's not that easy to get kids to come to Colorado because there's little history in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
They have won a national championship in the last 4 decades. Yes, they have. They had, sparse pockets of success in the Big 12, but they're not a draw. They're not a draw for kids right now. They're not a draw for TV right now, other than the fact that it's him. Like last year, they were showed on ESPN all the time because it was him. It certainly wasn't because they're 4-8.
They're not a pipeline to the NFL. Now, granted, he's only been there 1 year.
Right.
Now, his son and Travis Hunter are going to go in the top 10.
Yeah,
right,
probably.
That's going to help. That's going to help more than likely. If they stay healthy and have an outstanding season, despite their record, those two guys are probably.
But real quick, let me interrupt real quick. To be fair now, let's be fair about this. Travis Hunter was at the forefront of that NIL stuff, and Deion convinced him to go to Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's number one. And number two, his son was an elite recruit who Nick Saban wanted badly.
Mm-hmm.
But Deion got him to go to Jackson State because Deion was at Jackson State. So I don't know that you can. Well, you can give him credit for one of those, Travis Hunter, but I don't know you can give him credit for Shedeur staying with him because Shedeur is going to play for his dad. Why wouldn't he? Right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'll give you that one. But they gotta have dudes go get drafted in order to convince kids. I mean, because here's the thing, they go 4-8 again. I mean, where's the appeal? There's going to be celebrities on the sidelines. They probably sell out, and they'll probably play teams close. But after a while, a kid wants to go someplace and win some ball games.
Of course.
I don't care about the Rock being on the sideline and we losing about 30. Who cares? Who the hell cares about that?
Well, I'll also add to it. I think Deion has said in a couple interviews that the NIL and all of that structure is really irritating to him too, because the first question that's being asked by a few of these kids are, how much am I going to get paid? How much are you offering? And Deion wants to be the old school guy saying we're trying to get you to the NFL. We're not trying to pay you an NFL salary now, but we're going to work with you to get you to that point. And he's saying that's kind of scaring and getting kids to say, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else, even though I'm interested in coming and playing for you and everything that you have and maybe the resources that you have. I think it's better for me to go and play with another college football program that's going to pay me what I want, as well as give me the opportunity that I want. Because remember the kid who left because he was sitting him on the bench because he wasn't watching any film, and he decided that
Cormani McLean.
Yeah,
right.
He decided he was gonna leave too because he felt that he was an elite athlete and should be getting playing time from Deion. Deion felt differently, so I don't know. Does in both of your guys' opinion, you being a nationally reputable college football writer, and Leon, you being in the college game and the NFL for years, do you think that Deion at some point is going to have to come with the times and say, listen, we're going to have to start paying these kids whether we like it or not. We're going to have to start paying them.
Look, everybody knows the rules.
Mm-hmm.
You either play by the rules or you have your own rules and you struggle. If you are not embracing NIL right now and all that it means and all you can do with it, you're failing.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. You are failing.
Get with the times. Get with the times.
Let me just say this to you, okay? In the most recent completed recruiting class, so the 2024 class, okay? This is just in the state of Colorado, which my guess would be if you were going to rank the states as far as elite high school recruits, Colorado may not even be in the top half, may not even be in the top 25. Then, probably somewhere like high 20s or early 30s, okay? Still, Colorado, the University of Colorado, did not get I'm looking now all the way down to 30. 33 is what they have at 247 Sports. 33 players. Not one signed with Colorado. Not one, okay? 5 of the top 9 recruits in the state of Colorado are offensive linemen. They went to Tennessee, Southern Cal, Nebraska, and Purdue, and Iowa State. If you're Colorado, you can't let those kids out of the state.
I agree, especially linemen.
Yes.
Especially as deplorable as that offensive line played last year. 40. They say, I think it was some stat that 40% of the time, Shedeur Sanders was pressured when drop back passes. Come on, bro. That's almost close to half the time he's dropping back, he's getting pressured. That's making any sense, bro.
And it's you see this, okay, and I almost feel like that Deion is at the point now where he's given up on high school recruiting. That it's more about the portal, which is, to RJ's point, he's not happy about having to throw NIL money around. But guess what? That's how you're going to get portal guys. Mm-hmm. So if you're not going to put the effort in to recruit your own state, now he may say, well, we're going to go out to LA and we're going to recruit LA and we're going to recruit Texas, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But you got 5 of the top 9 players in the state of Colorado are offensive linemen, and it's not like they're going to scrub programs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. USC, Tennessee, Purdue, Iowa State, Nebraska.
But what does that say about Colorado in its recruiting, where the top 5 offensive linemen, and you clearly you have issues at the offensive line, and all those kids go somewhere else?
Not only that.
You couldn't pull one kid from Colorado?
Not only that, I think it's effort. That's number one.
Now, don't get me wrong. Now, he got the kid from IMG, now the left tackle from IMG in Florida.
He did.
Who's a stud.
He did.
Yes, so he's going to be the, yeah.
But my point is, you let those, 33 recruits, not one of them went to Colorado, but you let those, let's just say top 10 go to somewhere else? Mm-hmm. What happens when like a 5-star guy starts playing in Denver or starts playing in Boulder somewhere or starts playing in Louisville somewhere in Colorado, and they become 4 or 5-star recruits? What? Like, why would they go to Colorado?
He's not recruiting.
You've ignored Colorado.
Yeah, basically.
Well, that's why I'm asking you guys. Do you think Deion's mad at the fact that he can no longer just sell Deion? It felt that maybe in many other places, if this was a different time, Deion could sell him and say, I was in the NFL. I know what it takes to get there. I can help you get to that point if your dream is getting to the National Football League. But now there has to be pay coming into it now that I assume he's not wanting to give. He just thought, if I can sell who I am, that should be enough to get you in the door. Because we heard it a lot when he was in the SWAC. He said, I know the kids don't know me, but their parents do. And their parents can speak to their kids and say, this is what Deion is. But he's now in a whole different ball game in the Big 12.
Well, what he's doing is, what he's doing is he's creating players who actually want to go somewhere and beat them. Because, so, with Shedeur, his son talking and him talking and his pressers and his, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of these kids, they want to go somewhere and play them and beat them. I mean, that comes along with the territory of him being Deion. So,
RJ, to your point, and we want to get your thoughts on this too, on the text line brought to you by our good friends at Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Thoughts on Deion and Shedeur's statement of Colorado's the Super Bowl for everyone. How bad does that look? You know what, RJ? Let's do a poll, because I want to get into this as well, not only here but also with Dennis Dodd in a little bit. Shedeur's going to the NFL. Travis Hunter's going to the NFL after this year. How many more years does Deion have at Colorado? Let's go like 3 options, RJ. 0 to 1, which would be this year. That's it. 2 or 3. Let's just make it that simple. 1, 2, or 3. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. How many more years is Deion at Colorado?
Well, according to Deion has said,
I don't care what Deion says.
I understand, but I'm saying the belief system is, he's saying, even if Shedeur and Travis both elect to go to the NFL, I'm not leaving after they leave. I'm going to continue being at the University of Colorado.
He might get fired is what might happen. See, here's the thing, too, with Deion, is he's trying to use Deion, the aura of Deion, at a place that doesn't have any foundation to help him. Like I said a couple years ago, I thought that when Auburn was looking for a coach, that Deion would have been a perfect spot for him. Not only because he's the aura of Deion, and he has that vibe of him, and he is a showman. He is a P.T. Barnum. Whether you like it or not, he is. And he's got the credentials to back it up. There's no doubt about that. Maybe the greatest corner in the history of the NFL.
He coined the phrase,
right?
Lockdown corner.
Yeah. So going to Colorado and trying to use that is completely different than going into the heart of the SEC and using that, where he already has the foundation that Auburn has laid as far as being a program that can win a national championship, as far as being a program that can compete at the highest level, and more importantly, as far as a program that can recruit the Southeast and recruit it well no matter who's the head coach there. Then you put a guy in there with a dynamic and charismatic personality. I think he would have been successful at Auburn, and I think he would have recruited high schools well at Auburn. I think he realizes he's kind of like in a vacuum in Colorado out there as far as high school recruits, and you've got to go travel to go get guys. Whereas at Auburn, they're right there. You jump in the car, drive an hour, and your guy's right there. Or you drive a half hour, and the guy's right there. You drive over the state line, the guy's right there. He's got to fly to go. It's an effort to recruit at Colorado. Where at Auburn, it's not an effort.
It's not. I mean, at Auburn, you got the state of Alabama. You got Georgia right next door. You got Florida right down the street.
Yeah.
You got Louisiana across the way. I mean,
and they're all in the top 10 in the states as far as elite recruits.
Exactly, that part.
Everywhere you go, it's a lot easier to recruit there. And I said from the jump, like if he had gone to Auburn, I mean, imagine what he could have done for the SEC and for HBCUs. Because if he's in the SEC, he could convince the SEC presidents, because he's such a dynamic and charismatic guy, that everybody in the SEC needs to play one HBCU school a year. Imagine how much money that would have given those HBCU schools who are dying right now. You know, he could have been the personality to do that, to make that to make that change. And instead, he's in the middle of nowhere in Colorado right now.
Yeah, and losing, and cold.
And I mean, at the end of the day, and cold when you really think about it. And I mean, honestly, 4-8 last year. You go 4-8 again. Suddenly, the shine will be off in Colorado. I'm telling you right now, they will not be happy there. All right, we need to go to break. We're going to come back with Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports. He's going to talk about the Big 12. He was just there earlier this week for their media days. We want to talk also with him about the Florida State Seminoles and what in the world is going on, not only with the lawsuit with the ACC, but where are the Noles headed? Come back on the other side. We'll get deep into it. It's XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Because we see life through sports-colored glasses.
Do you see anything on this uniform indicating an officer? What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning.
1010XL.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Enjoy the thrill of the grill at John Smith Subs with specialty subs like the Steak Bomb, the Gator, plus a full lineup of cold and hot deli subs, including the best Cuban and Duval. Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs on Hodges and JTB.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's best options. Pick it here. Watch for Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan is brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Joe C. for the Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders, a full staff of professionals that have been in this Jacksonville community for a long, long time, and they're ready to answer all those questions. And you know what it's like when you're making big decisions. Well, they can be pricey, but you also want to make sure that you get with the people that can take care of you and deliver on what you're paying for. So if you're thinking about a brand new home, a remodel, addition, you want to look around, it could be commercial or residential, you can trust Preferred Builders. Log on, preferredbuildersjacks.com, and don't forget, if you need a roof, you definitely need to check out preferredroofingjacks.com.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Integrity, persistence, and standing up for victims. It's what you want in a personal injury case, and what my friend and lawyer Glenn Cohen brings to every case for over 40 years. Call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen & Sullivan.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
You could win your share of over $450,000 in cash and prizes at the 5-Star Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. The fun starts July 13th with the inaugural Kickoff Beach Tournament with a $50,000 cash first prize. There's a junior offshore tournament and one for the lady anglers. Best of all, the general offshore tournament winner takes home a 28T contender with twin 200 Yamahas. Register today at kingfishtournament.com.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are looking for top talent to join our team. If you are a plumber, CDL driver, or have experience installing septic drain fields, come join Duck Duck Rooter and let's win together. We offer our players a full package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and new state-of-the-art equipment. Log on to DuckDuckRooter.com and click on the careers page to apply. That's DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
The coolest thing going on right now is the summer fan sale with 3 ways to save at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Browse their huge selection of high-quality fans to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off summer pricing on all fans. Visit their showroom near the avenues while inventory is still available and discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, we're back on Primetime. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, RJ Saunders, Joe C. on vacation. It's a Thursday. It's XLP, or as we like to say now officially now, after Shador gave us this open door, everybody else's Super Bowl. XLP is everyone else's Super Bowl, okay? That's what we're looking at right now. I can give you someone else who's everybody else's Super Bowl. We're going to go out to legendary college football writer, CBS Sports, Dennis Dodd. We're going to bring Dennis in. We're going to talk about the Big 12 and Dion, and we're going to get into the Noles. And I know you Noles fans out there were upset yesterday when I told you I didn't know if Noles had a place to go once they get out of this thing, other than the Big 12. We're going to ask Dennis about that. Let's bring him up. Dennis, good afternoon.
Matty, how you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm great. Just back from Vegas, so get to catch my breath a little bit.
Were the showgirls there, and did you get a picture with them?
Oh, yeah. No, you walk in, and there were 4 showgirls. Great story. I walk in the first day, and all the mascots are, hanging around, too.
Right.
And this one of the showgirls goes, not to me, but just in general, she says, "Is that a horny toad?" And I went, "You know what? That's exactly what that is." The TCU mascot. She squeals and goes, "Oh, that's so great. I knew that."
Did you just say, "I'm staying away from that, man"? I'm
not. I shouldn't have tweeted showgirls. It was inappropriate, but whatever.
All right, so I want to get into FSU with you, but first, we opened the show talking about Shedeur, and he was asked about with Dion's his the carnival show that is Dion.
Yeah.
Does that put a target on? He said, "We're everybody's Super Bowl," and I'm thinking, you're 4-8 last year. You had the worst offensive line in the country last year. Couldn't stop anybody last year, and I'm not sure they're better this year. What's your takeaway with Dion, and what was he like? Was he more reserved at least this time around, or no?
Yeah, I mean he's got an incredibly thin skin. He reads everything. I'll put it that way. Where his energies are better, and I'm not talking about me, but his energies are better suited. Winning football games. And that's what I wrote about kind of yesterday. It's like sooner or later, we're going to start looking at the record. Going 27-6 in Jackson State's fine and great, but this dude is got 6 straight losses going into the season, 4-8, ripping his players, bad offensive line, bad defensive line, and that's on him for not realizing that in that massive transfer portal takeover last year. There weren't enough guys that he got, at least, that could compete at Colorado and in the Power 5. So, yeah, his sons were actually good. They were a little bit delusional. You mentioned that, where everybody's Super Bowl. They started ripping the offensive line. Like, we need guys that that want to contribute, that come every day. And it's like, dude, your dad put this team together, literally put that team together through the portal. So yeah, it was interesting.
Well, I mean, Dennis, Dion and all his charisma and all his confidence, that worked real well when he was in college or in the NFL, when he was around dudes. But the talking that he's making, these kids can't back it up, and that's the reason why they're the 4-8 teams. Well, I was on a team that was arrogant and cocky and pointed the finger at you, but we won games because we had dudes. All this talk without dudes doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's not talking if you can back it up. So far, they haven't backed it up, and that's what I kind of wrote about that yesterday. It's like, for better or worse, this is the face of the Big 12. He's the first thing you think of when you think of the Big 12 without Texas and Oklahoma. They have 16 teams. I didn't call it in print, but I call it my editor, and I said, they're the island of misfit toys. They got 16 teams that nobody wants, and I did write that because that's true.
Yep.
That's a good thing. They're not going to get picked apart. This is what's left. They may have teams rise and dominate, but Yormark kept talking about parity. Parity killed the Big Pac-12. But until last year with Washington, November 1st, every team in that league had 2 losses. Now, what's going to save, quote unquote, save the Big 12 is that whoever wins the Big 12 is probably going to get in, have an automatic spot in the expanded playoff. That team, at least this year, is probably going to do something they've never done before, and that is play for a championship. If it's Utah's never done it, Kansas never done it, Kansas State's never done it. Those are the favorites. Oklahoma State's never done it. So it's kind of fun from that perspective.
Okay, so let's get into Florida State now. Yesterday, I brought up some stuff that I've been hearing from some industry sources of mine, and Florida State fans were not happy about it. They were not happy about it. And I know they're waiting to hear your thoughts on it. But what I said yesterday, I've talked to multiple industry sources, and you have your sources. You talked to all of them as well. And the one thing that kept coming up was they're not a good partner. And that's scaring the Big Ten. It's scaring the SEC. That if you are willing to do what you're doing to the ACC to blow up the ACC, what would you do once you get into their conference?
Right.
And I keep saying this, and I've been told this multiple times now, unless the ACC implodes, like completely implodes, where 4 or 5 teams, 6 teams get out, if only Florida State leaves, I keep hearing it that they're not going to the Big Ten. What are you hearing?
They're not going to the Big Ten. They're not going to the SEC. I mean, I know they're not going to the Big Ten. Look, never say never in realignment because, whatever you say can change tomorrow. But right now, and these are industry people saying, I don't see a path for them in the SEC or the Big Ten. Those are people from those conferences are saying that too. And so the big picture, the big question is, if you're going to get out, don't you have to have a place to go? And I asked this week, one of these TV people who actually signed the contracts when these teams go to other. He's a very powerful person. I said, where do they go? He said, I don't know. He said, we're rooting for them to stay because we don't want to rip this whole thing up again. And that makes sense. I mean, Matt, Burke Magnus has said that, our guy at ESPN. They all say that. But it's true. They don't want to rip up these contracts and have the ACC scattered to the 4 winds and something reform in the West Coast or whatever. But as we sit here right now, I don't know where Florida State goes. Could they go to the Big 12? Yeah, but there'd be a revolt among the fans. I have the numbers actually on the private equity for the Big 12 that I'm going to write. It would get, if Florida State joined, it would get them closer to the SEC, which is in second place, but it wouldn't get there. But would Florida State, go to the Big 12? I don't know.
Dennis, I was telling Matt yesterday, this felt like the movie Godfather when Joe Pesci went into the room and thought he was going to be a made man.
Yeah.
And they got whacked at the end.
Yeah.
This is what that feels like. And if they go, I mean, ACC is going to take that money. And Matt, couldn't they just divide that money among the elite teams of the ACC once Florida State's out of there?
Yeah, that was my point. My point was if I'm the ACC right now, if I'm Jim Phillips, I'm secretly talking to Clemson, North Carolina, Miami, and Duke and saying, look, if Florida State goes, the $40 million we pay them every year, you'll each get $10 million of it just to stay, which will bump them to $50 million annually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is that not a smart thing to do
closer
for them?
Yeah, that gets them closer. And again, I'll say it again, the TVs are just fatigued and not motivated to do this again. I mean, we haven't even started with the new realignment now that we have. It occurred to me yesterday, I was at a media days at the Big 12, the 16-team conference. The first time that happened in ball since 1998, the WAC. We're going to have 18 at the Big 10. I set a
that
personal
conference
record.
died, by the way. Just FYI for everyone.
Yeah, right. I set a personal record Tuesday and Wednesday. 3 conferences, 30 teams, 22% of FBS media days. Because the Pac-12 had a cocktail hour last night that they called a media day with Oregon State and Washington State.
Good grief! All right, so it's also crazy right now. Here's my question: has too much damage been done right now legally for Florida State in the ACC to make up, or there's just no doubt they're leaving?
I was told yes in answer to that question because I asked a person that would know who's involved. And I said, could they just demand a bigger share and everybody goes on, the way, and they're happy with that? He said, no, I think there's too much damage that's been done. So again, they're like you guys just said, and what I just said, I don't know where they go.
So, I mean,
the
Fox
Big
would
12
pay for them to go to the Big 12, though, correct?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no doubt they would pay that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's a matter of, number one, how much, and number two, are the other 16 teams going to be happy that Florida State gets more?
Yeah, and because that's what would probably have to happen. It reminds me of Bobby Bowden in '92, where he had his choice between SEC and ACC, and he picked ACC because it's easier to win. That might be something that attracts Florida State. They could be the big dog and get in the playoff every year, theoretically.
True.
In the Big 12.
True.
But, yeah, no, I think Fox would pay for them.
All right, so we're going to talk about our playoff projections later in this show. Give me a couple teams to look at that are kind of off the radar that are interesting to you coming into this season.
Oh, yeah, I was asked this before on another show, and I just whiffed on it. I go, I was on Jocks in Alabama, and I go, I haven't thought that yet. I've thought about it. There's a larger story here. The playoff has met some of these schools that are rising halfway. For you and recruits, you can realistically dream about it. I asked Lance Leopold yesterday at Kansas. A team like Kansas, I have my short list drawn up. Ole Miss, 29 wins the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It tied a record last set in 1962 with John Vaught. Never been done, since then. So if Lane duplicates what he's done the last 3 years, they're in. Kansas 9-4. Get a little better, they're in. Arizona, Kansas State. There are others. Boise State is the overwhelming favorite in the Mountain West. I don't know if they're off the radar, but I would say Ole Miss is. I think Ole Miss, and they're talking about this being the best Ole Miss team ever. How many is the SEC going to get? That would be off the radar for Ole Miss, who's never won anything. I don't care about the championships they've won at the kitchen table in 1960 or whatever. They've never won anything. This should be huge.
Dennis, give me some hope with Miami. Give me
not this year. I don't think this year.
No playoff.
I don't think so. I mean, I had Mario on somewhat of a hot seat earlier this week when I did my hot seat rankings. I had him 3, like it could go either way, but that's really up to John Ruiz what happens there. But he did well. You got Cam Ward, Damian Martinez. Offensively, it looks like they're going to be, capable. But God, with Mario, it's just like obviously that clunker against Georgia Tech. They got to get past that. They got to pretty much have to win the damn league.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. For the next 2 years, the 24 and 25 seasons, the top 4 are going to be ranked by the 4 conference champions. Like the highest conference champ, they're going to be ranked 1, 2, 3, 4. So in other words, Utah or Kansas State or Kansas could win the Big 12 and be the 3rd seed in the 12-team tournament and still be like 10-3.
Yeah, well, ranking wise,
right?
You got to be if they're 10-3 and they're 21st, and an undefeated team from the American is higher, they get that spot. They get that
a group of 5 team, right? But,
yeah,
right,
they would get that spot.
We all know that's not happening, but
right.
I agree. No. So I guess my point is, and we're going to get into this a little in the show, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. You could have literally a 10-3 Kansas, or a 10-3 FSU, or a 10-3 Miami, and they're going to be ranked ahead of a 1-loss, let's just say Penn State, a 1-loss Alabama, and they'll get a first-round bye where the other guys have to play in the first round.
Because they're conference champs. That's right. That's absolutely right. Like Georgia last year, lost the championship game, so they wouldn't have been in that top 5, right? They would have been or 4. They would have been 5th or 6th, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, that is the case. So, interesting.
That's going to bring a whole lot of funk when people finally realize that. You know that, right? When, October turns to November, people finally start realizing that, they're not going to be happy. They will not be happy. Listen, man.
But they wanted, Go ahead, I'm
that's
sorry.
what they wanted. No, I was just going to say, great job, man. Great information. We really appreciate it. I will see you next week in the SEC, brother.
All right, look forward to it. Thanks, Matty.
All right, he's Dennis Dodd, National College Football writer, CBS Sports. That's 2 people now are telling you this, Knowles fans, and I know you're not happy about it, but it's the reality right now. They're in a situation where Florida State is in a situation right now where it needs the ACC to die, and I mean D-I-E, die, where everybody's trying to get out. And granted, Clemson is trying to get out, and North Carolina is talking about it, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with all of that, okay? Because the reality is when Florida State leaves, that's another $40 million into those coffers.
Yeah.
And if you're the ACC, Why would you not do that? Why would you not tell those 4 teams, you're going to get each $10 million from that $40 million from Florida State. Just stay here. Everything will be good. You're going to get to the playoff. We're going to get 2 guaranteed teams in the playoff starting in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make more money the further you advance in the playoff. It's all there in front of you right now.
Yeah, you have an automatic bid, and you get to split the money that you would have gave to Florida State. It sounds good to me.
I understand Florida State, why they want to leave. I get the whole mechanisms of it, okay? I understand the monetary situation. All I'm saying is they might have tried just a little bit too early, because at the very least, you should see what the 12-team playoff and the eventual 14-team playoff is going to be in 26, how much money can be made there. And maybe then you get a little satisfied of where you are. I don't know that you do or not, because I think they're in a situation where they see the writing on the wall. They can't be in the same state. We talked about this yesterday. You cannot be in the same state as Florida and get half of what they get out of their TV revenue. I get all of that. But it's just they're in a situation right now where they need a collapse of the ACC, and I'm not sure that's going to happen. So we'll see what happens. All right, we need to go to break. We're going to get into that playoff, by the way. We also have Mark Ross of the NFL Network coming on in the second hour. He's going to talk a little bit Jags information with us, as well as some NFL stuff. Keep it here. It's XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Where beating and banging is no harm, no foul.
Beats and bangs his way to turn 20.
This Sunday at Pocono Raceway. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. From Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Hey folks, it's Jennifer Marion. Randy Marion Cadillac is the pinnacle of luxury in the First Coast area.
And guess what? We've got the all-new Cadillac Lyriq with $16,000 off MSRP.
That's right. You pick the color and drive away today in ultimate style.
Experience the future of driving with the Cadillac Lyriq. Electric, elegant, and exhilarating.
Visit us online at RandyMarionCadillacofJacksonville.com or come see us on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Don't miss out on this unbeatable deal. Plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hi, I'm David Lane, your average everyday Joe. I'm 5 months out of my back surgery with Southeast Orthopedic, and I'm doing great. Thanks to Dr. Herford and his staff at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
July 11, 1914, future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth makes his MLB debut as a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. Earns a 4-3 win against Cleveland.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
Let's go! Help cheer your Sharks on to victory as they battle the Green Bay Blizzards in exciting IFL football action this Saturday, July 13th, 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Now, check out our new family pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 vouchers, and a $25 Al's Pizza gift card. It's a great deal. To purchase yours or to get more information, call 904-621-0700. And ho, ho, ho! Who's ready for Christmas in July?
A little Christmas music, maestro?
Whether you're on the naughty or nice list, Come out and support your Sharks. You never know, you might get a chance to say hi to Santa.
It's almost Christmas.
All we want for Christmas is a Sharks win. Check out our post-game autograph session and see if the players and dancers are asking for the same present as you.
Let's go!
Don't miss the fun and excitement of Sharks football this Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
Let's go!
Let's go! The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice-cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332. Go to flyskylife.com and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, it's Thursday Primetime. We are back. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, RJ Saunders, Joe C. on vacation. You guys are crushing the text line right now. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. We appreciate that. 904-641-1010. The 504 says he understands what I'm saying about why wouldn't the ACC just tell those four teams, hey, when Florida State leaves, we'll give you that $10 million. You'll each be $10 million more richer if you stay. He said, listen to what you're saying. So here we are. We're going to give you $10 million extra apiece. So that gives the other schools now is $50 million. FSU leaves and goes somewhere and makes $60 to $80 million a year. So that's still 10 to 30 more million than they're staying in the ACC. Where are they getting the 60 to 80 million a year? They're not getting it from the Big 12.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
They might get 45 to 50 million from the Big 12. Fox will pay more for them, sure. I don't know how much more. Fox is surely not going to pay 60 to 80 million to FSU to go play in the Big 12. That's not going to happen. Okay, so where are they getting the money? That's kind of the whole point of it. Is they would get it at the Big 10, but the Big 10 is not going to take them unless the ACC implodes. And my thinking is this: if you're North Carolina, you're Miami, you're Duke, and you're sitting in Clemson, and you're sitting there, and the idea is you can leave what you've built in the ACC and the closeness of the rivalries for the most part, not including Syracuse and Boston College, okay, to start traveling to the Big 10, to start playing in completely different situations, which, oh, by the way, will be much harder to get to the playoff. Much harder. And you're going to leave the ACC, which will have 2 guaranteed spots starting in 2026, to the 14-team playoff. And the playoff now comes with more money. This is kind of my point that I understand Florida State's desire to leave. I get that. I think they did it too soon. I don't think they allowed themselves an opportunity to see what they could make, not only with the new playoff, but with the revenue distribution that the ACC was given. The champ makes more money. If you get to New Year's Six Bowl, you make more money. And my guess is that will change from New Year's Six Bowl to playoff. If you make the playoff, you're going to get more money. And that's not including the money from the playoff. The playoff is worth $1.2 billion annually, totally. Mm-hmm. And that's you are given different amounts of money the further you advance in the playoff. So my whole thing, Leon, is this. I understand what they're doing. I think they did it too soon. That's all, before seeing what they could make.
But you say that, but wasn't all this outlined to Florida State? I mean,
no, not the new playoff.
Not the new playoff system?
No.
Oh, okay. So I didn't. I thought that it was already outlined.
But the ACC revenue share was laid out to them.
Okay.
The distribution plan. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they jumped ship too early.
You know what I think it was, honestly? Honestly, I think FSU started hearing, like there were media reports that the SEC and the Big Ten were going to be making $100 million each, and FSU was losing their mind, which I would be too. Mm-hmm. If I was an FSU board of trustee, if I was the FSU AD, if I was the FSU president, I'd be losing my mind too, There's no way that Florida can make $100 million and we got $40 million here in the ACC until 202036.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot happen. Because in 10 years, well, I guess I should say in 10 years you'd be devastated. But who knows who's going to be coaching Florida over the next 10 years? You could be still where you are right now because at the end of the day, it's about the coach. But the point is, I understand what they're saying. They started hearing that $100 million, $100 million, $100 million, and it's not going to be $100 million. Now it'll be 80, and it could be more down the road, 10 years down the road. Right? And $80 million is still significantly more than $40 million in the ACC, and I understand that too. But again, if you start getting 5 off and you've advanced far in the playoff and you get $6 or $7 million, then you're at $54, $55 million.
Mm-hmm.
You're still far away from 80. I understand all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But once the NCAA allows you to put patches on your uniforms, which is going to happen, once you start getting that corporate sponsorship in there, you're going to be behind them. I get that. But there are ways to generate revenue, and there are ways to make it work. And if you're FSU, you're going to have to start. If you join the Big Ten, you're going to be traveling out to USC, to Oregon, to Washington, to Michigan, to Ohio State. Those are not easy jaunts, number one. And they're very good teams. It's not like what you're running through in the ACC right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if they go to the Big 12, like you said, they're going to be the big dog.
Yes.
That's an automatic bid into the playoffs anyway.
Big fish, little pond.
Absolutely. And then if I'm the ACC, all the disparity that you caused with the conference, why would I want you back anyway? Let you go. I would.
Well, the ACC definitely would take them back. There's no doubt about it. I just don't think Florida State's going to come back.
You don't think they'll come back?
No.
Okay.
No, and if you're the ACC, you
want them back.
Yes, you do a backflip to get them back
you want
in the
them
fold.
Back.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Big 12 is going to get 2 guaranteed spots too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to if that's where they're going, the Big 12. I don't understand it because they'll probably make a little. Maybe they'll make a little more. I don't know if Fox pays more, which they probably will. But if you start figuring out how, the ACC is willing to give you revenue sharing, they're willing to give you more money if you win the championship, they're willing to give you, more money if you reach the playoff. The Big 12 is not going to give you more money to win a championship. They're not going to give you more money to win the playoff. You're just going to get more money from Fox. So it's probably going to be even.
Mm-hmm. So, let me ask you, could you see a world where, let's say, the ACC implodes?
Yeah, let me just say that real quick. I can absolutely see a world where the ACC implodes.
ACC implodes.
And they get to the Big Ten, yes.
No, let's see, ACC implodes, and Miami, Florida State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Duke go to the Big 12.
Go to the Big 12? No, because I think the Big Ten and the SEC would go after them.
They would go after them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like if FSU gets out, the door's open, then all of a sudden Clemson says we went out, North Carolina says we went out, Duke wants out, Virginia wants out.
Then they're opening the doors.
Yeah, then the door's wide open, and then the Big Ten and the SEC are going to come in and start swooping who they want.
Got you.
Yeah.
All
right, we need to go to break. We're going to get more into this in the second hour. We're going to come back, by the way, with Mark Ross from the NFL Network. We're going to talk a little Jags in the NFL. Keep it here. It's XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Dan Hicken.
Well, I'm a genius at making a fool out of myself. Always finding new ways to do it.
Jeff Prosser.
I found that if you have a goal, that you might not reach it. But if you don't have one, then you are never disappointed.
Mornings on 1010XL.
And I got to tell you, it feels phenomenal.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more. All at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O. If you want high quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterboyJAX.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer is here on the First Coast. You know, long days, short sleeves, and soaring temperatures that can do a number on your AC. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. Hope is not a plan, so do what I did and plan ahead with an expert AC tune-up from Fenwick Home Services to avoid those costly summer breakdowns. Fenwick has you covered with same-day service, including maintenance plans, free same-day estimates, and guaranteed repairs. Book your expert tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns tomorrow. Plan ahead instead of hoping for the best. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. For 1010XL, Jacksonville Jaguar fans, as well as Trevor Lawrence, were thoroughly pleased that the quarterback will be playing for the Teal and Black for years to come, a decision that head coach Doug Peterson says was an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah, well, the decision was easy. You know, we all feel in the building that he's our guy, and he's obviously the face of the franchise, and he was drafted a few years ago, the first-round pick to be that guy, and we have all the confidence in the world, and we're just excited and thrilled for he and his family to get this contract behind him and just continue to build on the last 2 years.
Sound courtesy of the NFL Network. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp have dropped their first 2 games in a 6-game series against the Gwinnett Stripers. They're looking to get back on the winning side of things as they hit the diamond again at 7:05 p.m. Currently 91 degrees at 3:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
See, RJ, at once a show, he comes back with something unique. A little Gap band now, Leon. Huh?
This is actually Daz.
Daz? Is it Daz?
Yeah, this is Daz.
It's not the Gap. Gap band.
It's the Gap band. I could be
Who
wrong.
is this, RJ?
Daz.
Daz band. All right. I got my bands mixed up.
Yeah, it's all good though.
I got my funk mixed up.
No, yeah, listen, you were in the soul food restaurant. You just had a different menu.
It's hour number 2 of Primetime. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, RJ Saunders, Joe C. on vacation. Well-deserved break. All right, we're going to switch gears here, head into the NFL. We've got Mark Ross from the NFL Network. Mark, good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
Excellent, except for the confusion there with Gap Band and
Right.
Daz Band.
Right, that
Always remember the distinctive Charlie Wilson voice with the Gap Band.
There you go.
And so just remember that.
There you go. My bad. Hey, all right. So, Mark, listen, we've been having this discussion now pretty much all summer, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. It's almost like we have this Bizarro world. If you remember Seinfeld when they had the Bizarro world episode, it's now that the Texans are now the Jaguars from 2022. They're now that they won the South. They won a playoff game. They look good in the division round. They got a hot young quarterback. Everybody loves a quarterback. He's an MVP candidate now. It's basically everything that was said about the Jaguars last year. And now it seems like the Jaguars who are playing catch-up now after 18 wins the last 2 years under Doug Peterson and the staff. It's bizarre how this has played out. Do you see it similarly?
Yeah, I definitely see Houston as the favorite, but and as you said, yep, Jacksonville was that team at this point last season, and now Houston is that team. Next year it might be somebody else, but that's just the nature of the NFL. But you would think for Houston with C.J. Stroud and DeMeco Ryans at the quarterback and head coach combo, they'll be there for years to come. And for Jacksonville, you're hoping your combo there, Trevor Lawrence is paying him that big contract that he gets back to the good Trevor Lawrence or plays consistently at the good Trevor Lawrence level to not just compete for the division, but the ultimate goal, of course, is for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, at this point, Houston is that team, but after half a season or 3 or 4 games, the Jacksonville might be right back in the mix.
Now, Mark, that's weird to me. But I mean, the PFF ratings has Houston, Texas at number 7. You're talking about a team just a couple of years ago that lost 38 games. I mean, has the coaching staff and C.J. Stroud been that much of a difference for the turnaround?
Yeah, I mean, Houston at this point last year, you don't even have to go 38 games ago. You just go half a year ago. It's this point last year, Houston, okay, they got CJ, a new rookie head coach. Maybe they'll win a few games. I actually covered Houston in training camp and just sitting there at practice watching them. I said, they might be competitive for 5 or 6 games. Win that kind of thing is what I was looking at. I would have never expected them to make that leap. I would have never expected C.J. Stroud to just, as a rookie, just jump into a top 10 quarterback status and just all those Nico Collins to just become a number 1 receiver all of a sudden. So everything really everything you imagine when you draft a player or a quarterback, it came true for C.J. Stroud. And anything that you could imagine for a head coach when you signed DeMeco Ryans came true for Houston. But it's not a fluke. When you look at that team, you look at the talent that they have, and you look at the way C.J. Stroud played every week. I'm like, okay, he'll get back down to earth, and he just kept getting better. Yeah. So I think it's built to last there in Houston, and that's the difference a quarterback makes. And we talk about it all the time, and that's the difference you wanted Trevor Lawrence to make in the Jacksonville organization. But it can happen that fast when you take the right guy. Joe Burrow's an example as well a few years ago. So the quarterback is that much of a difference.
All right, we're speaking with Mark Ross of NFL.com. Mark, you spent 11 years with the Giants. You won 2 Super Bowls. You spent 5 seasons as a VP of player evaluation, 6 as the director of college scouting. You know the process. Another thing we've been talking about in the offseason here is just the drafting here the last couple of years, and really the last decade or more. It's just they have not done well as a franchise drafting. 2 years ago, it was very odd 2nd and 3rd round picks of Tank Bigsby and Strange, Brenton Strange, a tight end. And now this year, you're desperate for an impact player, and your 2nd round pick is a guy who, if he's healthy, and Mason Smith, if he's healthy, he's a good player. But he's coming off a knee injury, and he kind of was hit and miss last year at LSU. The drafting here with this franchise has been a little odd, has it not?
Yeah, and that's the reason you got to sign Gabe Davis and my guy Evan Ingram there from the Giants. You got to sign free agents Kristen Kirk. You talked about Tank Bigsby and other players, but yeah, you want to hit on you're not going to hit all of them, and that's the thing I think fans have with their local teams is like you got to be 100% in the draft, and it's 30%. If you hit on a few guys, so you're not going to hit on everybody, but you got to hit on mostly your high picks and your impact players. And when you go up and down the roster and you look at Jacksonville, you say, do we have those impact players taken high? And that's the question you have to ask. And you never want to have to catch up for it in by signing free agents and overpaying in free agency. And so, yeah, I mean, you can look at the history of it, and eventually they had the number one pick for a reason, because of the drafting wasn't good. They didn't have it because they drafted great. So, that's always the issue. You got to hit impact players in the draft, and you don't want to have to be desperate in free agency to overcome mistakes that happen in the draft.
Now, Mark, the offensive line is near and dear to my heart. I played 11 years in the NFL at the right tackle position, and this team, quite frankly, over the last last year, finished in the bottom tier as far as run blocking goes, and the bottom tier as far as pass protecting goes. The only all-season move they made was at center, when they've had issues all across the board. A little surprised by the fact that they didn't make more moves as far as offensive line goes, taking that they played so poorly last year.
Right, and that's always the issue there. And we talk about O-line, but you have to look at the investment that was made in the O-line, and you talk about mistakes made, and you got a second-round pick and a third-round pick that are probably not starting for you, that you've taken in the last 4 drafts, I think, with Walker Little and Fortner. Those should be starters. Those should be impact starters for you. And even you've got a first-round pick in Harrison, and Cam Robinson you took high. So when you have that much resources put into the draft and that high at one position, you should have a much better impact. You should have much better play when you've put that much into it. So that goes back to, is there something flawed in their evaluation of offensive linemen that they're doing? And big-time free agent and Brandon Scherf. So you spent a ton of resources there, and for it to still be struggling, let's just say that there's something wrong with the evaluation process.
Mark, what's your thoughts on Ryan Nielsen and the additions of Savage and Darby on the defense, and can they improve significantly on that side of the ball, which really by the end of last season was a mess?
Yeah, I don't think Ronald Darby or Savage is going to help anybody at this point. Those guys are just kind of stopgap players for the last X amount of years. I don't think Savage really lived up to any expectations there in Green Bay, and seems like he's been around forever, just bouncing around. So, you need Tyson Campbell to be an impact player. You need Cisco to be an impact player, but you can't expect, despite the resources that they've put into that, when you've got Darby and Savage possibly starting for you and having critical roles, that's going to be hard pressed to say, hey, we can go shut people down. You need Trayvon Walker to be the impact. You need Josh Allen with his new name. I'm sorry, Hines Allen. Now you need those guys to be sign Eric Armstead. They've got to wreck games. They've got to wreck games to make it easy for the secondary. Those are the ones that have to do it to cover up for a little bit of deficiencies in the secondary.
And saying all that, Mark, has the Jaguars just gift-wrapped the Houston Texans, the AFC South, for the next 5 years?
No. I mean, it's a year-to-year league, and despite some holes, you got some strength. And I just mentioned that front has to be a strength of yours, and Devin Lloyd has to be a strength. And when you look at the playmakers on offense, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find. I mean, they're top 5, 4 in the league when you got Dave Davis and Brian Thomas Jr., who I love Brian Thomas coming out, and Kirk and Evan and ATN. I mean, that's a really, really good group of playmakers that you have, and you just have Trevor's got to do it. If you're talking about gift wrapping, you got the number one pick as you've given $100+ million to whatever the contract was, and saying you're gift wrapping it to another team. He's got to be the guy. This is it for Trevor. He's got to do it and show that, yes, I am an elite quarterback. It's not a roller coaster every game or week to week. He's got to consistently play at a high level for Jacksonville to compete, not just with Houston, but the KCs and Buffaloes and Cincinnatis and Baltimores in the AFC.
Or can Gabe Davis be, I mean, I don't really want to say a one, but can he be that type of guy when it's, 3rd and 7, you're going to him? Can he be that guy?
He made a bunch of big plays for Buffalo, but as the secondary guy. Right. So now you're taking a guy who really his specialty is being, Stephon Diggs is here and I can do, big plays because people are focusing on him. So I don't think that's really at this point in his career. So, yep, now, Gabe, you go be that number one option. Now, he can still make big plays, but, you're expecting a lot from – you took Brian Thomas in the first round for a reason, and he's got to blow the top off of defenses and be a threat. And Kirk still has a little bit left. So there might not be, and Evan Ingram still's got, he can be that guy. So it's more of a collection of all of those players can be number ones at certain point or have to be go-to guys at certain points in the game or key situations in the game. You have to have confidence that any one of those can make a big play for you.
Now, Mark, we're in agreement that Trevor definitely has to step it up this season. Isn't anybody else that on this roster that needs to have a big season for this team to achieve its goal of making the playoffs?
Oh, well, Trayvon Walker.
Okay, Trayvon.
He's got to do it. You take him first pick of the draft. Second pick of the draft. He's got to do it. He's got to be over Aiden Hutchinson. It was controversial there. It's like, okay, well, now's the time. He showed flashes last year. Put some numbers up in the stat category from his rookie season. So now year 3, it's got to be. I have to be a huge impact. I have to be when other teams game plan against us. I have to be that factor, and I've got a Pro Bowl player playing opposite me. So I've got to, I got to make the most of it. When you got 2 players of that caliber, hopefully of that caliber, you just have to dominate games.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've been saying all along, Mark, that I think Trayvon's gonna have a huge season. I really do. I think he just kind of started near the end of last season, last month and a half. He really started showing what he could be. Unfortunately, the rest of the team was not there along with him. As we're wrapping it up with you, and by the way, you can reach Mark on X. It's MARC Ross, ROSS, Mark Ross on X. You said earlier, and I completely agree with you, it's a year-to-year league in the NFL, but I mean, is it that way with the Chiefs? Honestly, they're just so much at a different level, and it's not only Mahomes, but the way everybody plays because Mahomes is so good.
Yeah, a down year and they win the Super Bowl. That shows you where they are, right? And the offense is bad. Mahomes is taking a step back. Okay, well, our defense will just dominate and win games, and Patrick goes and makes big-time plays to win the Super Bowl. So that's the standard, and that's what Brady, what everybody dealt with New England and Brady for all those years. Now it's KC, and they until someone beats them, they're the king. But Baltimore's in the mix every year, and as long as Joe Burrow is healthy, Cincinnati has been in the mix the last couple years, and Buffalo has been right there. Did they get better? Did they get worse? So all those teams are going to be in the mix. Miami will do some damage. I don't know. Ultimately, they're good enough to do to make a run. And then Houston and Jacksonville is hoping to be in that mix. And there's always a surprise team that's going to come out of the shadows. And the Chargers. Watch the Chargers. I mean, here it is. You've got a top 5 potential quarterback, and now you've got a head coach. I talked about C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans. There was a lot of what will these guys do? Justin Herbert has already shown he can be a top 5 quarterback, and Jim Harbaugh, everywhere he goes, he wins. He wins the national championships. He goes to the Super Bowl. He just wins. There's no guesswork in what he's going to do. So, that's the team I think looking at it right now could be a sleeper to wreck things.
Hey, Mark, outstanding information, man. Thanks so much for your time.
Sure thing. Anytime.
All right, that's Mark Ross, the NFL Network. Great job. He nailed it. I mean, he was very clear in the fact that, you're not getting much from Savage and Darby. Their guys were bounced around the league for a while. Now, I will say our coach, Dave Campo, loves Darby. Thinks Darby's going to be a player. So we'll see. That's clearly an issue that they're going to have to look at, the secondary. And that's when we come back from the break, I want to get into that with you because we talked about this earlier in the production meeting, Sirs, about once we get into camp and once guys get cut or once guys retire or you still got street free agents out there, how can this team add to help them? What positionally, where can they add to help them? We're going to get into that the other side. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Come aboard the Frangie Express.
We'll crank this sucker up and you guys can be home before supper.
We're going home. We can't make traffic disappear.
Pedal to the metal right now.
But we'll sit through it together.
Pedal to the metal. All right, let's go.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Buy a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla for just $1,000 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4 or Tacoma for just $1,000 down and $388 per month. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock and more than 100 vehicles under $18K. And you even get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Shop the Big One sales event, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988. So call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gates store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
I'm Hacker. Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Wednesday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL Florida Gator Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or TuneIn.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open-air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I have exciting news from Leonard Truck Outfitters, now with 2 great locations to get that truck hooked up. Beach Boulevard just past Southside and one on Blanding. I got my truck taken care of, and you should too. Leonard Truck Outfitters, your truck, your style.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Let's go! Help cheer your Sharks on to victory as they battle the Green Bay Blizzards in exciting IFL football action this Saturday, July 13th, 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Now, check out our new family pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 vouchers, and a $25 Al's Pizza gift card. It's a great deal. To purchase yours or to get more information, call 904-621-0700. And ho, 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 who's ready for Christmas in July?
A little Christmas music, maestro?
Whether you're on the naughty or nice list, come out and support your Sharks. You never know, you might get a chance to say hi to Santa.
It's almost Christmas.
All we want for Christmas is a Sharks win. Check out our post-game autograph session and see if the players and dancers are asking for the same present as you.
Let's go!
Don't miss the fun and excitement of Sharks football this Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 621-0700. That's 904-621-0700.
Let's go!
Let's go! 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
So John O'Leary came in. Intern John O'Leary came in the studio for the Mark Ross segment. By the way, Mark Ross is fantastic. He will be a rotational guy here during the season.
Hey, did you see what RJ just did for you?
What?
You got the
Gap band.
Gave it the
He came back with a gap
There
band.
you go. There you go. Outstanding.
Yeah.
There you
Well
go.
done.
Good job, RJ.
Well done. Mark Ross, thanks again. Fantastic. Two unbelievable guests today. So, intern John O'Leary comes in. He's got a bag of potato chips.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "You ever had a hot dog potato chip?" And I was like, "What?" He's looking at me and you. You know, its chips taste like hot dogs. And it's not like Lay's chips, okay? Or it's not, a big brand name.
Mm-hmm.
It's some convenience store
Truck stop chips.
bag. Yeah, that says hot dog chips on it. He says, "Get you one." So I said, "All right, I'll wait and let Searcy taste it." You taste it and?
Yeah, it was horrible, bro. It was absolutely horrible. You know, who befriends you and offers you something when it tastes terrible? Only him.
Because you would think like he's walking in and saying, "Hey, get you one of these." He's thinking these are good.
I thought they were good.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I'll try one. And
so
I
because
tried it.
the look on your face was like
terrible, bro.
So I took a bite of one of them. I mean, literally like a tiny bite. Now it's regurgitating on me.
Yeah, no, I still got the stench in my mouth right now.
And it, by the way, it tasted like burnt mustard, number one.
Did.
But it smells like hot dog.
Terrible.
It was, and then, of course, after we tried it, O'Leary looks at us and says, "They're horrific." Why would you walk in, if you know something is bad, why would you do that?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. He has no soul.
See, that's the young dudes these days.
Yeah, that's what they do, bro.
He runs around here in his shoes with no socks on and his, I think they're 5-inch shorts now. They're like halfway up his thigh or more.
Well, they still wham.
And he says they're hip. They're hip is what he says, Leon.
He's wham.
Hip.
It's called a wham.
All right, so Mark Ross was very blunt, very, very blunt about the Jaguars' defense and specifically the Jaguars' secondary. And that kind of makes me think of what we were talking about earlier during the production meeting is we get to camp, we get a week into camp, 2 weeks into camp, 3 weeks into camp. Guys start getting cut. Still free agents out there. Is secondary an area? And what other areas would you look at if you're the Jags to help improve this team?
Well, yeah, secondary would definitely be, because you can never have enough good corners, and you don't know what's going to happen during training camp or during the preseason, whatever. When a guy goes down, pulls a hammy, ankle, whatever. You want to have a veteran presence there that could just step right in. And the first person that came to my mind, he might be a little bit up in age, but he is a perennial All-Pro with Stephon Gilmore. He's still out there on the free agent market.
Yeah.
With someone like that. Maybe I'm thinking offensive line. God forbid, if anything happens to Mitch or Sheriff or Ezra, we're in bad shape, bro. We are. We're in bad shape. I would love to get a street guy, somebody interiorly that can either play the guard position or I know Shatley. His greatest strength is his strength. He's a favorite on prime time, but
there's not much out there.
I know it's not. I know. We was looking at the guy. What was the kid?
The best remaining guard, the best remaining free agent that hasn't signed yet is a guy who's coming off an ACL injury, Connor Williams.
Yeah, Connor Williams. I saw him.
He's played center the last couple years, but he's played guard with the Cowboys before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's got
Mason Cole.
Yeah, he's got a late ACL.
Nick Gates.
Nah.
There's really not much out there.
No.
Shatley's greatest strength is his strength.
It is. And we love Shatley, friend of the show, yes. But it's, mean, it's what I've been saying. That's why I said guard over and over for the first 2 rounds of the draft, okay? There's nothing out there, and that's a problem. Now, as far as corner, I mean, I got to be honest, I'm a little nervous after what Mark Ross said about Darby and Savage, honestly. I mean, is Jerry Jones your guy? Is he your starter?
I mean, he basically said that.
Is Monteric Brown your starter?
They're journeymen. They're just, they're suitcase guys. I mean, we look at them differently because we signed them. I mean, we're in too deep. I mean, he's looking at from.
You're in way too deep now, man.
I mean, we should be having these kind of question marks a couple of weeks within camp.
It's. I agree with you. Stephon Gilmore is a little bit up in age.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Howard also. Patrick Peterson clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, how much worse would they be than what you got out there now?
Well, I mean, you know what? We got to at least give these guys the benefit of the doubt of training.
All right.
Camp. Yeah.
All right.
We got to see. We got to see the investment that we made in the product first before I can give you. We got to go to a couple of camps. We got to watch a couple of 707s, a couple of teams to see how these guys operate. And Coach Campo, who's coached it forever, the secondary, he'll let us know.
He loves Darby.
He'll let us know if those guys are legit or they're dragging.
I mean, he loves Darby. There's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
What about edge? Now, you signed Travis Gibson, who I believe had like 8 sacks last year with the Bears. I think it was the Bears, right? Bears?
Yeah, it was the Bears.
Yeah,
it was the Bears.
Wait. I kind of think they need someone else off the edge, like a dynamic guy that can. And I hate to say this, but Ngakwe's still out there.
He is. I
mean, would you pay him $4 or $5 million on a 1-year deal just to get 4 or 5 sacks or 4 sacks and some pressures?
To be disruptive?
Yeah,
absolutely. Coming off the edge, yes, absolutely. If you play him, you give him 20 snaps a game, 25 snaps a game, and just on third down rushes, twist games, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I just kind of feel like they're going to be in the same situation they were in last year, where you've got Josh Hines Allen and you've got Trayvon Walker both playing at a high level. I think Trayvon Walker's in a big year. Let's say they both play at a high level. Then, I mean, what else is there? Now, Armstead can give you some interior rush.
Presence, yes.
Obviously. But what else is there? I mean, you've got Gibson. You've signed him. But what else is there?
I don't know. Hamilton?
Yasir Abdullah?
He's an outside rush guy. He's a speed guy, but I mean, he goes up against a big tackle, he's gonna get swallowed up.
Right?
Yeah, he's gonna get swallowed up. Listen. I mean, this new defensive scheme, attack scheme. I mean, hopefully they're going to include Devin Lloyd. When we had him in the studio, he said he's hoping to get in there get on some sacks, be on the outside.
I would love that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why would you utilize him? You're talking about
6'4", 250.
Yeah, 250 off the edge.
Big dude, athletic.
I would just line him up outside of a right tackle, left tackle, and say, go get it.
He said he's going to be playing in various spots on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I say this all the time. When you look at that Cat's Utah tape, he was a menace rushing the quarterback. A menace.
Why would you utilize him?
And then you get him in this system, and they tell him to go cover people. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So,
makes no
again,
sense.
they have been their own worst enemy in some cases. Not only with Devin Lloyd, who's a guy who clearly is. The funny thing is, I see Devin Lloyd as a guy like if he played for the Steelers, he'd be off the edge and he'd be killing it.
Absolutely.
You know what I
mean? Yeah.
And you bring him in here and you tell him to cover people. It's like Walker Little, the same thing. You think he's a left tackle, you're playing him at right tackle, you're trying to move him at guard, he gets hurt. The first series, you stick him out there at guard, which we were all saying over and over and over. You put that guy at guard, something bad's going to happen.
I told you.
Right.
I told you.
So I think in some cases they've been their own worst enemy sometimes, not only just in strange draft picks, but the way they're developing guys as well.
Well, I mean, listen, organizationally, when it comes to players, you want to put them in positions to where they succeed. Utilize their ability to your advantage. I mean, it didn't make any sense when I saw that tape of Devin Lloyd when he was at Utah and how disruptive he was to offenses. Right. When he got off the pass, I said, oh, my goodness, we got us a linebacker that can not only hit and cover but can rush the passer.
I'm telling you, bro, I see him like in a Steelers uniform just disrupting off the edge.
He would crush it. Absolutely crush it. That 3-4, they have him on the outside across from TJ.
I got to be honest with you, man. I'm a little shaken by Mark Ross. I'm a little shaken by the Darby and the Savage.
It's too early.
Suitcase guys, he called them, bro. Suitcase guys.
Bro, at least let us get to camp first, bro. Let's see a couple of practices first before we.
That's a dude who spent 11 seasons in the league, man. College director, was vice president of personnel with the Giants, won 2 Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
That ain't a guy who's just saying stuff just to hear himself talk.
I agree, absolutely.
I'm a little shaken by it.
Don't be shaken, bro. You know, we've been window shopping. We're gonna go in the store in a couple of weeks.
All right, we need to go to break. I told you in the show we're gonna kind of do our little playoff projection. We're gonna do that next. We're gonna come back in there so I get back into college football and do a quick playoff projection for you as we wrap this show up. It's XLP.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Gators. Subscribe to the 1010XL Gators YouTube channel. Up-to-the-minute updates, instant reaction from Gainesville, plus the same 1010XL Gators podcast you've grown to know. And check out 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. We've seen over the last 6 months, card collectors have loved storing their graded cards in Zion cases. Whether it's for a single card or a few dozen, Zion makes some of the best hardcover cases. In a variety of sizes and colors, Zion card cases at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
July 11, 1914, future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth makes his MLB debut as a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. Earns a 4-3 win against Cleveland.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality products. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
This is Hayes Carlyon for SkyLife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. SkyLife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at SkyLife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Bueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler.
Aaron Burr.
Dueler.
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. It's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's going to kill me now.
Oh, Bueller.
That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer, Irv.
Cooler.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops upon Avedra.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, we're wrapping up Primetime, this Thursday edition. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, RJ Saunders, Joe C. with the well-deserved break. This is why I love my brother. He texts me in the middle of the show and he says, don't forget today is Slurpee Day, 7-Eleven, July 11th. Free Slurpees today.
I love Slurpees.
That's by the I do too, but sugar's the devil, man. That's not awake and approved.
That's true. That's true.
Sugar is the devil.
Yeah, you're right. You had, we was on remote last time. You had, wasn't that the Slurpee that gave you the brain freeze?
Yeah, I took one bite, gave me the brain freeze.
You were hurting, bro.
I don't know what that was. It wasn't a Slurpee. It was
something cold.
Trucks, yeah.
It was one of those. I think it was frozen
ice things. Frozen ices, right? Yeah.
Well, that's
brain freeze.
Yeah.
So go get your free Slurpees. They're all over the city. All right. This last segment here, we talked about the playoff earlier with Dennis Dodd, and I think a lot of people don't understand the format of the playoff. It's going to be a 12-team playoff in college football. Now, the thing is the four highest ranked conference champions automatically get first-round byes, no matter their record. So, in other words, if, let's say, Utah wins the Big 12 and they win the Big 12, they're 8-4, then they go in the Big 12 championship game and they win it and they go and they're 9-4, they are one of the four teams that gets a first-round bye. So, automatically, if Utah is ranked higher than the Group 5 team, which they more than likely will be, they will be a top four, get a first-round bye team. So it's 12 teams, 4 teams get first-round byes. The other 8 play in the first round on campus sites. And it's number 5 seed versus number 12, number 6 versus 11, number 7 versus 10, number 8 versus number 9. The higher-seeded team, obviously, is the team that hosts. And the rankings will be done, again, by the College Football Selection Committee. Now, Sirs, let's start out with, give me your top 4, which will be the highest 4 ranked conference champions.
Top 4? All right. Well, at number 1, I've got the Georgia Bulldogs at number 1. All right, no surprise there.
No surprise.
It'll be dominant again. Number 2, I've got Ohio State. They should be good again. Ohio State. Number 3, Kansas State.
Interesting.
I'm going with Kansas State.
Avery Johnson.
At number 3.
Watch Avery Johnson. He is a bad man. That's the reason why Will Howard went to Ohio State.
And number 4, call me a homer, whatever you like, but I'm going with the Canes.
Love it.
I'm going with the Canes.
Love it. I've convinced you in the last week,
yes,
haven't I?
have. Yes, you have.
All right. Okay, we're a little different, but similar in some ways. I got Ohio State at 1 because I think they're going to figure it out, and I think what they'll do is, while they may lose in the regular season to Oregon, I think they can get them in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Georgia's definitely going to lose in the regular season. I do.
Okay.
I do. Georgia's got a tough schedule, man. A really tough schedule. So, but I still think they're going to win the league. So I got Ohio State at 1. I got Georgia at 2. I got the Canes at 3 because I love the talent. I love Cam Ward. And the ACC is – I am not sold on DJU. Let me just say this real quick. I am 100% sold on Mike Norvell. 100%. I think the fact they're paying him $10 million now, he deserves every penny of it, okay? 100%. I realize he's proven he can develop quarterbacks. I get all of that. I am not sold on DJU. Now, does Luke Kromenhoek eventually become the guy? And could Florida State be in a situation where they lose once or twice early and they go 9-2 or 10-2 and get in the championship game and win the ACC? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not sold on DJU yet, so that's why I'm hanging with the Canes. And at 4, I've got the Utes with the 7th-year senior Cam Rising playing quarterback. I got Utah winning. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The next 8. Because one of them's got to be a group of 5 team.
Yes.
So let's start at 12. Who's your 12 seed?
Well, my 12 seed initially, until I realized that a group of 5 had to get in, and this is going to make the Michigan.
That hurt you, didn't it?
It's going to make the Michigan fans really upset. Okay, I had Michigan at 12, then I realized that they're not going to be able to make it because they have a group of 5. So it's, at number 12, my 5 versus 12 is Ole Miss versus App State.
Ooh, I like that. So you got App State traveling to Oxford to play Ole Miss in a first round game. That's not going to be pretty. There's no doubt about it. That will not be pretty. We should probably do it that way, like the game was going to happen. So my 12 is Liberty.
Okay.
Liberty was unbeaten in the regular season last year. I think they'll be unbeaten again. Caden Slater's a really good quarterback that a lot of teams tried to get him to transfer to come to their school. The big schools tried to get him. I think Liberty's going to be unbeaten again in the regular season. I like Liberty a lot. I got Oregon as my 5 playing host to Liberty. That will be a 55-14 game, just like your Ole Miss App State will be like a 55-14 game. All right.
All right.
Next one.
My next one is 6 versus 11. My 6th seed is Notre Dame. My 11th seed is Florida State.
So the Noles traveling to South Bend, which will be a little bit of the old 93 game. Remember that game?
Remember that.
The classic game where Matt Fryer was crying at the end of the game saying, give us another chance. Give us another chance. So you're a believer in DJU.
I believe that Florida State's defense will be solid. And I think DJU I think Florida State is going to drop 2 this year. But I think 2 will still get them in the
get in.
Yeah.
All right. All right. My 6, Texas Longhorns. It's going to be an adjustment period for them. There's no doubt about it. I think it'll be adjustment for both them and Oklahoma. But Sark has done so much in the offseason through the portal. And recruiting, they've been fantastic in recruiting. Top 5 classes the last 3 years. So typically, when you recruit at the high school level as a top 5 guy for 3 years in a row, that's the determination of where good becomes great. Like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma, when they dominated the early years of the playoffs because they recruited in the top 5 level all the time. And Texas is there now. And now Texas has a quarterback with Quinn Ewers. And even if something happens to Quinn Ewers, you've got Arch Manning back there. And he's added some critical players in the portal. I like the Longhorns. I got the Longhorns playing host to Notre Dame.
Oh, that would be classic.
In the first round of the playoffs. That would be very good.
That would be a very good game. All right. So my number 7 is I got Alabama versus Mizzou.
Nice.
My 7 and 10. That'll be my Alabama. I'm just listen. I know Nick Saban is gone, but it's too much talent at Alabama. I think Alabama, everybody thinks they're going to just go away and dusk in the wind. But I think Alabama's going to still be Alabama for the most part.
You got MIZ getting in the playoffs, huh?
MIZ, yeah, I got Mizzou. I'm going with Mizzou.
With Drink, friend of the program.
Drinkowitz, yes.
I like Mizzou a lot. Offensively, they're terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, they lost their DC to LSU. It's different when you're the hunted. You know that as a player, man. When you're sneaking up on people, it's easy to win games like that.
Yeah.
But when you're the hunted, a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very fortunate schedule, so they could do that. But there were a few games last year where they easily could have lost, including the Florida game when they converted that 4th and 14. So it was very impressive what they did to Ohio State, even though Ohio State was playing the backup quarterback in that bowl game. No doubt about that. I'd love to see Mizzou get in. I just don't know it's going to happen. My 7 versus 10. I'm with you on Bama.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like the fact that I have them at 7 right now. I think they could be a lot better than 7. But I got them at 7, and I've got Alabama playing host to LSU in a rematch. Number 10 LSU in a rematch of the regular season.
Nice.
So that ought to be interesting.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at my thing, and I don't have LSU in here, which is mind-boggling.
It might be a tactical mistake.
It might be a tactical mistake, but I'm going to go ahead and roll with what I got, all right? All right, I got my 8 versus 9 will be Texas traveling to Oregon. That'll be my 8 versus 9.
Texas traveling to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Another great game.
Yes.
Another great game.
Mm-hmm.
See, now when I said Alabama playing host to LSU, you're going to run into these things, okay? This is going to happen in the playoffs. When you got a 12-team playoff or you even have a 14-team playoff, and eventually it will get to 16, by the way, you're going to have rematches. There's no avoiding it. The LSU-Alabama game in the regular season is in Baton Rouge. This one, if it plays out like I have it to play out, would be in Tuscaloosa. So that, at the very least, that would be kind of a little twist on the rematch. But if you get in a situation where, let's just say it's Alabama and LSU, and it's 2 games in a row, both at the same site, that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
There will be some upset people about that. All right, my 8 versus 9, and I would love to see this. I got Ole Miss at 9, traveling to number 8 Penn State.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
How fun would that game be?
It would be.
So, that's what I'm talking. Why the playoff is so good, because you're going to get games like that. Ole Miss at Penn State, Notre Dame at Texas. Those are the games, man. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. And even better, once you get to the 2026, when the format will change again, and you're not going to get the highest conference champions being the top 4 seeds, which will completely change the dynamics of it, then you're going to get even better games.
Yeah.
I'm
looking forward to it.
This is, I think people don't realize the enormity of this playoff, Big Source, until they're not going to really get it until like October, late October, early November, and it's all of a sudden their team might be 6-2, but they still got a shot at the playoff, man.
So here's the thing: the college football playoffs is going to be rivaled with the NFL playoffs.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay, so you could have NFL, college football playoffs all within the like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun this year. The months of November, December, and January are gonna be a lot of fun. All right, let's do this.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
My takeaway is the 12-team playoffs is going to be magical. It's going to be a beautiful thing. You're talking about college football and NFL playoffs in the same month, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Can't ask for enough ball, baby. Appreciate it.
All right, my takeaway is Mark Russ got me shaking, man. I can't get over it right now. I literally cannot get over it. He's calling Darby and Savage suitcase guys.
He did.
Suitcase guys.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
It's a little bit unnerving. Fortunately, we have training camp coming around in a week and a half, and pretty soon we'll be seeing preseason games, and we'll start to get a better idea of what these guys are, not just them, but all the new additions to the Jags. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we need to get out of here. We got the Frangie Show coming up next. Carline's got that under control. And you got Baloo. And then you got Hacker. Keep it on the Superstation. All kind of sports. For Matt Hayes, for Leon Searcy, for RJ Saunders, and of course, Mark Ross and Dennis Dodd today. Great job.